I think what makes the European market very special is the fact that we have not the freedom of expanding airports by means of geographical expansion. So it is a lot of the geographical constraints that we've got. So the other thing as well is because a lot of the infrastructure that was established in Europe is very old, it is actually also having to cope with the existing and old infrastructure and trying to optimize that and going forward to support the airports. And I think that that's what sets us apart, is we don't have that freedom to say, yes, we're going to build another runway, or let's build a greenfield airport in this spare bit of land that we've got. So I think that's the first part, is the geographical constraints that we've got. But on top of that, we have also a lot of social and political factors that is quite, I wouldn't say anti-aviation, but a lot of people would like to see not a huge expansion of the aviation market. And that's brought on, and we have to cope with those challenges as well. And you would have recently seen, for example, with the third runway at Heathrow or in Munich, that actually comes from a lot of external pressure from the public that don't want these things to go ahead. And we have those things to cope with as well. And that contributes also to a very slow decision-making process in some instances in Europe. I think some of the most challenging short-term aspects for us in Europe is addressing the environmental factor. That challenge remains because it's such a big topic that a lot of the time people don't adequately address it. And that means if we don't start to do something now in the short term, we will only start to see the delayed effects of that in the longer term. So it's actually something that we cannot delay. It's something that we have to address and support the airports in addressing this. So for me, the short-term goal is definitely for us to help to support the airports to reduce their actual environmental footprint and support them on what we can do to go forward with that. Some of the examples for us to support the airports in some of these challenges, and I mentioned the environmental one particularly, is obviously to utilize our technology to support the airports in minimizing the amount of time the aircraft is either spending in the air or on the ground. Right now, our expertise lies predominantly on the ground, is optimizing how fast the aircraft can get from the runway to the actual stand and the opposite way around. And then also via other concepts that's been introduced, like the ACDM processes, it's also creating a collaborative decision-making process within Europe. And that also means that it will reduce the amount of time that an aircraft is potentially spending in the air based on some decision-making process. Either lack of a gate available at the destination airport means it's staying rather on the ground rather than circling in the air for ages. So our contribution is predominantly based around providing the airport with the tools to aid this decision-making, and also then other tools to speed up the processes at the airport.